Looking for me? You guys are responsible. And then
so like it's a pretty
I like the smelling I'll double check. I believe not. Oh, I see what happened. You misspelled his own name. You misspelled his
yes.
No, Charles is not registered. So I still don't know what my copy of that is. How? What? Let's pretend I remember everything. It's really I'm going to share.
Huh?
Agenda for Concom. There it is.
You can always just go to the staff landing page.
I know, but I.
I feel like people don't like me.
You get or I could actually add it, but you could add it. I did send a message recently, half hour that the main closing ceremony.
Nobody was. Yeah, they're on the okay. I just didn't see it. I'm pretty sure that's all. I had 14 closing.
Opening closing ceremony.
I will add it.
And we'll just. Thank you. Well, that's.
Here we go.
Hotel booking times might be covered by hotel too.
Possibly, but they had sent to me that they wanted it covered.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, August 25th is the next one, and if you look at the bottom of the document, it says August 25th. I believe so. Let me double check the calendar. I was just looking at it. Yeah, it's at 1. According to the calendar, it's at 1.
And that's something I wanted to talk about last week, but unfortunately, I couldn't be able to say, can't do that.
Okay.
A while back.
Let's get everybody settled in. Read my agenda. Most people I see are wandering back in. Wonderful thing. How is this? Are the people on the internet there? Cool. 1 is better than 0. Just 1. Hi, internet people. Or person.
Hi, Curse.
Ooh, the internet talks back. So let's get this going. So I figured this is going to be a pretty intensive meeting as we get closer. These are usually our intense. We'll try to keep this moving pretty quickly. But before we start, I just want to remind people that one of the things that we do this con for is not because we want to go and make money for our parent organization, PA good money, but really we're doing this for our friends, our family, and the community. This is something we're doing to celebrate what is the best parts of the furry fandom. What is the best parts of being who you are? We want to share this with our friends. We want to share this with the family. Most importantly, we want to share this with the community. So when we do things, we have to think about those levels of friends, family, and community. So just think about that whenever we're doing things. And sometimes we're going to have to be a little bit, yeah, this is the official way of doing it. Sometimes we're going to have to bend the rules to be the best for our friends, family, community. Sometimes we're going to have to really enforce the rules, even that it is our friends, family, community. But in the end, we are putting it on to show what is the best side of furry is. So when people come and talk about furry and say, yeah, furry is blah, 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 and furry migration is that community, that feeling, that is what, when I think of furry migration in Minnesota first. But this meeting is going to be a lot about the con book. This meeting is going to be a lot about the things that are coming up, the scheduling. It's mostly, we're at the last month. We're pretty much have the ball rolling, and it's going downhill, and we are either going to catch that ball when it hits the end of the hill, or we're going to have a lot of smashed cars. And going after smashed cars might be a canine thing, but a lot of you aren't canines. So, but keep your eye on the ball, and we'll all get there because it's just a ball. Ball.
It's gotta be yarn.
So let's get this rolling. D.
Okay, so I'll start with the MN Furs update. Upcoming events for MN Furs, August 5th, tomorrow, Arden Hills Bowling. August 11th, we have a Perkins meet, and for some reason on August 25th, I will see you all back here again for another Concom. MN Furs is mostly in support the con mode, and to that end, it's time to announce the process for working on getting us our next convention chair. Part of the bylaws of MN Furs is the Furry Migration Con Chair search. Since the last time we kind of knew who was going to get the appointment, this time the board is focused on process and making it so we have good precedents going forward. To this end, I, D, have been appointed as an elected member of the board and HR for the convention to run this process. We'll go over the framework outlined in our bylaws and how this will work. Again, this is a bit different than before, but we're taking the opportunity to increase transparency while sticking to our rules. In August, we announced the process, and in this month's board meeting, last Wednesday, we reviewed the guidelines and addressed any concerns or questions to that level. Today, we are announcing to Furry Migration staff, and will shortly be opening nominations and announce the process. Hi. Nominations will be submitted by leadership of the convention. Divisions and department heads will be free to nominate themselves or others. If you are not among these members and have a great idea of who should be the next con chair, feel free to follow one of these two options. Either suggest it to your department or division head and they can nominate it, or you can submit it to an email we will set up and I will submit the name to the division heads to see if they will nominate them. Due to our bylaws, the nominations must come from the leadership of the convention, departments or division heads, not just someone supervising people at the con or general staff. I do want to make sure that a good idea for a candidate has a chance regardless of where it comes from within the convention though, so I think this is the best balance between the two. Now, the email address we will be accepting nominations to is fmconchairsearch@mnfurs.org. However, don't feel you need to rush into the nominations or start writing this email down. A summary of this will be going out to the staff newsletter with the email address sometime around next Concom. There will also be a reminder in a newsletter after the convention. Right now, we want you to focus on the convention and maybe start thinking about who you might want to suggest. Nominations should be in by the 19th of September. People will have until the 26th to accept a nomination or withdraw their nomination. During this time, I will be asking around and getting people's feelings about working with individuals that were nominated or just checking up on people's health. You know, you never know. If you withdraw by this date, I tear up any notes that I use to help generate questions for the interview. And as far as the board is concerned, you were never nominated. A note about conflicts of interest. If a board member self-nominates or accepts nomination, at that point, they can no longer vote in the process or bring motions related to the process. The person running the search cannot nominate candidates, i.e. myself, but if an elected board member, they can vote in the process. Furthermore, anyone running or administrating the selection process by definition cannot be nominated or accept nomination. I have a note here that I should do a happy dance. If a division head is a candidate, they can still give feedback on other candidates, but as the person running the process, I must identify any questions, concerns, or comments coming from another potential candidate to make sure that this is transparent. In the month of October, the board will be reviewing the candidates, narrowing them down, performing interviews. The goal is in November for the November board meeting to be wrapping up the interviews and starting final selection. If all goes well, the December board meeting will have final interviews and have a candidate selected, and we will then shortly be making the announcement. At this point, the 2020 chair will become the 2019 vice chair and Shadow Kirst in his last year as they work and start working on the 20 and 2021 convention years. If the board of directors does not get an acceptable candidate from the convention after several rounds of solicitation, there is a clause in the bylaws that the boards can nominate a candidate. I doubt this will ever happen, but again, working on being transparent, and it's in the original bylaws, so I wanted you to know. Any questions or concerns about this process, you can reach out to me during the break or Slack or email me at dei@mnfirst.org. Please hold off nominations to the FM Con Chair Search email address until after you see it in the email. We want to get you focused on what you're doing right now. Think about it a little bit, who you might want to nominate, but wait for that before you start sacrificing people and yourselves to being candidates. I'll see you later for the staffing update.
I'm very glad to be the chairman for until 2019. I view it as one of the important things to step down after 3 years. If there is no candidates, I would make myself an option. If everybody in the world said that they wanted me, it would have to be the world and more, because I really want somebody else to be up here to be the face in 2020. I think it's very important for this con to keep on moving leadership and grow new leadership. I'll be there to help out whoever it is in 2020, but at the same time, I'm hoping that it's not me. So if anybody has questions what a con chairman is or what they do and everything else, you can ask a lot of people in this room, but you can also feel free to ask me, and I'll give you as much of an honest thing as possible for what it is, other than a lot of time and work.
I'm guessing the coyote cloning process failed.
No, it works perfectly fine. The cloning's right here telling you he doesn't want to do it next year in 2020.
Consistent thing that comes out.
The cloning worked perfect.
So the original's still in Disney World?
Yeah, I'm getting updates from my Disney experience. Going to be my guest again. It has something about taking pictures with the beast. So, staffing needs. We still need staffs. We do have, I would like, if people are bored, they have friends out there, we have a page out there that lists some of our staffing needs. Give this to your friends. Some of these positions are, and give people a good idea what staff does. If your information, and it's the standard thing. I can come up here and blue in the face. We all know we need staff. Go forth and find more people if possible, or steal people. Cloning doesn't work very well with them because they have the same willpower as the other people as before. We need staff. So don't clone staff that are not staff ready. Volunteers?
I'm trying to navigate my way through this.
It's a maze. A maze of challenges, a maze of fun.
Amazing.
Can we have a corn maze?
No.
If we had a corn maze, would that be in your pool?
That'd be amazing.
Stop ignoring about this.
All right, so the big thing right now, we need to be able to have people submit what their needs are for volunteers for the convention. I have brought some printed forms that you can fill out. They're back there by the computer. Otherwise, if you want, there'll be a digital form coming up here shortly. There'll be both a Google form, or if you want to print out a copy of this and bring it to the next Concom, please, by the next Concom, have that submitted. If I don't get your needs by that time, it's going to be harder to figure out where to put people. On that note, a couple things. One, even if you don't have any needs, please submit a form and just say everything's blank. That's no problem at all. And on top of that, let me double check here. A couple departments have submitted their needs. Let me just double check here. If I remember how to operate a phone, which I think I do. Let's see here. Dealers Den, you have submitted your needs, and looks like logistics as well. So you both can ignore the form, you're good to go, but everyone else, please submit your form. We need to know what your needs are. Even if there are none, at least we know there are none. Any questions?
Can you do the thing with your phone again? I almost memorized your pattern.
Let's see.
That's pretty phony.
But, no, I mean, honestly, get up.
Oh, sorry.
I wish. Tongue print?
Yes, I was gonna say it's a tongue print.
Actually, how about an eye scan?
We're going to say the standard thing. By submitting needs for volunteers does not mean you automatically will get volunteers. Volunteers will be as, will be prioritized, to be honest. Things around badging and other activities like that related to badging are probably going to get a little bit higher priority, unfortunately. Which sounds like, shouldn't be the way it is, but we do need badgers, and we want a safe space and everything else, and badging helps provide that. Also, at the same time, if you know people that want to help out and volunteer at night, that is going to be a really big thing for us. Night volunteers are double hours, and at the same time, this is probably our biggest needs. One of the reasons why we give double hours. We always need volunteers at night, especially for badging for our adult programming. We want our adult programming to go well, and one of the things is we have to make sure that adults are in our adult programming, not everybody else.
And we will do the best to have all those needs fulfilled at the convention. And with this form as well, it's not binding. If you say you need 4 people, but you actually need 5, I'm not gonna be that much of a pain. I'm gonna be a little bit of a pain, but not that much. So
This is all about planning and trying to get some sort of idea. We're flexible.
anything else? Bueller? No?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hotel?
Yeah. I gotta take my laptop.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You want to show off, don't you?
Okay.
Is that mine?
Apparently, the whole hotel team that's here is up here. Is that because we did something wrong, so it'll pass the blame to all of us instead of one of us?
No, well,
Okay.
it's all, the thing is that as departments, we're all about teams. We
Yes.
all work together to make things work magically and work great.
Teamwork.
Everybody is important on the team.
Yeah.
It's not just one person.
Yeah, you came here to help a convention, and instead you get all these life lessons too. I mean, that's great.
It's kind of like a Disney movie.
All right, so I guess I'll go over room night numbers. We're around, the last report I got was a week ago. We were around 700 room nights, so we're doing really well. We have talked to the hotel because the hotel right now is sort of doing this thing where some of the rates you can get outside of the room block are better than the inside, which makes no sense. So we've sent an email. More immediately, it seems. Say what?
No clean rooms. You couldn't get a
We
clean.
did add some, and then they got gobbled up
But you
again.
couldn't get them for Thursday.
Yeah. So, the big things on our plate right now are the resumes all got in with the Hyatt, and we have scheduled a meeting for August 17th with our contact there, Jillian, where we're going to be going over the understanding of those resumes, talking about room parties at that time, and getting all of that blocked in. Speaking of room parties, anyone who submitted a room party around a few days after that point, probably by the 20th or so, should be receiving an email that they're to let them know that the reservation has been tampered with and that they are moving into a different room. This is normal because we have tampered with your reservation and they're switching your room. So don't be surprised if you see something about that. Otherwise, immediate concerns, it looks like our guest of honors coming from Germany wishes to arrive a few days early. So we are going to be talking with the hotel and extending one of our executive suites a little bit earlier. So that shouldn't be too hard. We're also working coming up in the next day or two with VIP services, getting some large maps of the convention space put together. Yeah, there's not a whole lot really else to say at the moment because other than the few things that have come up that we have to deal with right now, most of it is just waiting until that meeting with Jillian so that we can go over everything. And then we have about 200, after that meeting, we get a report back and it's about 200 pages that we have to siphon through and make sure everything's correct. So, yeah, I'm sure I missed things. Does anyone have any questions? Anything on their mind? And yeah?
I am Joe Blow, staff member, and I would like my room next down to the 4th floor. Is there a way I can do that? Be by the noisy areas?
If you're on the staff list, in fact, like on the staff list, we communicate those names with the Hyatt and basically request that they're on 3rd and 4th floors. So as long as you're actually on the staff list, you should. Oh yeah, right. Also, if you want to make sure, just know that the front desk, they're wonderful people and they want to serve you the best they can. And that also means that if you get there early and your room isn't available, they will gladly get you in early and put you on the 9th floor. So
I'll try 23rd.
yeah, so be aware that if you get there early and they're putting you on a higher floor,
Stop.
stop them or contact someone from a hotel or,
Yeah, because at that point, what happens is that your 4th floor that's nearby the doorway of the con space is now somebody that is on a business trip.
Yeah.
Is now.
Yeah. The
And
hotel
our
was,
work with Furry is all about
Yeah.
really quick.
yeah, the front desk is trying to be too helpful. So they'll just be like, okay, your room on 4th isn't available yet. Here, have this one night. So
But
be aware.
also at the same time, if you are an individual that cannot sleep because of noise or any other things, we will try to accommodate those too.
Yeah.
But please get close to a hotel. You're not on the list of people to be on the 3rd or 4th floor.
And I know your room is not going to be up there,
No,
kids.
I actually have another question.
Okay.
Do we know if there's any other conventions going on that weekend again, like we had the like seminars in the sheriff's department?
There's a wedding that's going on that's going to be in the North Star Ballroom that we are not using this time for main stage. Hooray. So there will be a wedding party there. I think there's a couple other small events, but there are no other large scale events.
So does the wedding party have their rooms right in the middle of the room party again this year?
That would be impressive.
August 17th. Also at the same time, we may want to make sure we have extra signage about the dance and where it's at. It's not the dance that is called a wedding reception. Because I'm sure it will become the secondary stage.
Yeah.
They're invited in.
And before we get to Kellogg Mooring, if that happens and they are in the room party row, it's probably because the wedding party is running the room party. That's the only way they're going to be in room party row. Maybe they can run a furry wedding crash party.
So what you're saying is it'll be the furry wedding bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Moving on. Kellogg.
So I just found out I had a room meeting, which I wasn't expecting. Can I request a mobile way, or can I just call the hotel and ask them, or are they just gonna tell me, contact us when you check in on whatever?
Actually, we can do that. No, we can get you a rollaway. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'll just make a note right here underneath the last thing I'm doing. So, all right, yeah. So we'll just put it in there. If you have any problems, complain to
I'll
us.
talk with you a little bit later.
During the break after reservation, it's going to be easy, so I can do that.
That's what I need. Thank you.
I ended up getting a king because there wasn't any queens for the early check-in. So if I just call them, is there any way, I think there'd be any way for me to switch it to a queen, or?
There aren't any queens in our room block, and
Okay.
they're, I don't think
I don't think there is outside the room block.
Are there kings on 3rd and 4th floor?
Yeah, there's.
Oh, okay.
There's lots of kings on the 3rd.
It's on,
Okay.
yeah, it's on the opposite side from all the executive suites.
The other thing to note is the next couple of days is when people start canceling. And keep looking on there and everything else. And here's just for standard niceties to the con. If you are planning to cancel your room, please do it now. Because that means somebody else can probably pick it up.
Yeah. So if I cancel a room after this point, I should tell you first before I tell the hotel? Would that be helpful to you?
That would, yeah. Especially if you plan on canceling so that you can move to a different room.
Okay.
So, yeah. Other questions? Not hearing anything. Yeah, you need to get out of here.
Did I hear correctly, our room block has no queens?
Oh, it does have queens, it just doesn't have any queens that are available anymore.
Okay, you were making me double check some reservations.
I mean, I suppose given furries, there are probably a lot of queens.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's his fault. It's his fault. Yeah, that's my.
Your turn next.
Yeah, there
next
could be.
meeting.
Yeah.
Because of that.
How comfy is the bed in the rope pull-up for the kings?
Wow.
I don't know, somebody else might want to stay there.
That's a matter for housekeeping. That's not me. It's as comfortable as you expect it to be.
I told him that he couldn't find anything else he could pay you.
It is.
So I think I cannot get back from that low we hit. Is there anything? Do it during break.
That will
So
be your moment.
it's not a spring break, it's a summer break. The radio training for operations, is it more on just come visit you and get the training? And training is on for today? And will be on for the last meeting. So, but if you're supposed to be using a radio or anything else that I would say over the radio that will cause problems.
And they talk to you.
I just think if I don't talk, it solves most of the problems. Operations and on-site scheduling. And Mulan. Let's talk about scheduling. Come over here. This is where the mic camera that goes to the internet.
We talked about global schedule.
What?
The global schedule.
A little bit of the timeline and also how you're doing on programming schedule, because everybody keeps asking.
Yeah, okay.
Just talking schedules on all different types.
The timeline email went up. It went up in a different email than I think I told everyone. I'm going to send out a summary email, hopefully today or tomorrow. It's schedule@furimmigration.org is going to be the email. So if you have any timeline requests or anything like that, send them in the email or use the form that's in the Google Drive.
Would you like me to make sure I remind you of the newsletter for this?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Where in?
Under Team Drive, it's under the timeline and schedule Team Drive. There should be a form in there.
Because I'm gonna pull up Team Drive real quick, because I searched for it the other day, could not find it.
Okay.
So it isn't, FM share?
It's its own drive. Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't
I
have
don't have
it,
that Team Drive, so maybe
Okay.
you guys, someone should add everyone to it?
everyone should have been added to it, but I'll make sure.
I up because this is a common issue that we have regularly, that people do not have access to Team Drives.
After this meeting tonight, my job will be to go through this Team Drive permissions, and I will personally look at this tonight because I'm looking at this and this is not acceptable. So if we want this to work, I'm going to get it to you right now, but I'll get everybody else in tonight.
So, and then as far as programming schedules go, the DJ's schedule just went live this morning. I sent the email out to everybody, to all the applicants, already starting to get a couple of responses from them. The panel schedule is, I would probably say 70% complete right now. All of the applications are put in. We're just waiting
Well, for one, we're waiting on guest of honor panels. We've got placeholders in for that, as well as some of the other filler events that we're working on, and then a couple of late additions. But that should, our hope is to have that live, at least internally within the next week, and then be ready to go push public. We've got a couple of events that have already been scheduled. A couple of music events are already scheduled. I'm going to be sending those over to use that for social media to start pushing, hopefully this week. So just expect an email from me.
A newsletter too, so I can do that for the general public newsletters. Thank you.
Anything else?
There's a couple things we'll cover under the web area related to this, but at the same time, I think that should clarify for some people.
Okay. Any timeline or schedule related questions? No? Good.
We'll make things work. Knowing our schedule, knowing when people are coming in the rooms is important, from both logistics, from a hotel, from everybody here. We are getting close with the con book and everything else. Schedule and all the timing is actually really, the public timing is needing to be get down, because print takes about a month. It takes time for getting printing done, especially if you don't want to pay as much and you actually want to go, actually have to have the time to do it. Because for some reason, they don't like to give discounts if you just go and say, I need something printed in the next 2 weeks. It's strange how that works. So, at this point, let's, Dee, you like talking?
Need me to talk more?
Thanks. You need to talk more.
Staffing update.
You're supposed to jump up and down, staffer.
Staff.
Where's for Steve? Ballers.
No, I have to have sweaty pits and go, staffing.
Bad geek jokes, sorry.
Yep. We now have 5 staffing roles up on the website. In the last 30 days, we've added about 3, maybe 4 staff to the list. We'll be working, getting a 3rd round of help wanted up this weekend or next week. If you need staff to your department, you can still onboard staff. Send an email to staffadmin@furrymigration.org, or just ping me up on Slack and I'll get something written up and added to the website. Please let me know if you have more people to add to the staff list. I have the staff list printed out, and I just need to finish updating everything before driving over, which I did. Please see me and at least review your department's list with me, and I will have ad forms for you to fill out. Also, I have lists of who we've been able to determine is registered and get confirmation for that. And also, we are going to try to do some recognition for people who have been here for 5 years. I have this list over here. Please review it and see if you are listed correctly as how many years of service you have on. I might have missed a year or maybe given you an extra year. It's kind of weird going back to a 1st year and 2nd year of staff list record keeping. It's a bit hazy. And if you have done 5 years, I would like to make sure that you get recognized for that. Aside from that, now it is time for everyone's favorite moment, the have I registered or have I not registered?
When did you run this?
This was ran yesterday afternoon. If you have registered in the last 24 hours and I read your name out, that's probably because you've registered in the last 24 hours and we didn't get this 100% up to date. It's also possible that you might have registered and because of differences in the legal name or email that is on the staff list and the legal and email that is used for signing up for your badge might have been different, so we might not have checked it there. Check out with registration in Kaggle to make sure that you've been registered if you have any questions. And if you know you have it, please register soon. We would like to be able to give you a staff badge at the location and have it ready for you to go without having to print and try to quickly get you signed up there. The following people, we don't have confirmation that you're registered. Bonwell Chris, Brendan Jason, Benshan Alexander, Karnez Fear, Carson James, Castro Derek, Messer Laura, Cozart Sam, Davis Michael, Fletcher Kenneth, Gaber Abe, Golina Sarah, Generic Michael, Hernandez Jose, Holmes Zachariah, Hans Steve, Holt Jack, Humble Amanda, Jones David, Lawler Alex, Lukash Travis, Maur Andrew, Marquez Daniel, McCarty Kevin, Michael Zupek, Murphy William, Emily Park Goldsmith, Phil Charles, Schneider Eric, Tracy Casey, Zawiski Alex.
I would like that again. Yeah, because I'm on there, obviously twice, I was under Laura Chandler and Laura Messer.
Said last name first.
What?
People who have questions should call the registration today.
Yes.
Yeah, talk to me.
They'll be available during breakout.
Yes. Anything else?
I've been registered since last year.
If your last name didn't match what was on there, then it got ignored. It was like a computer just did it.
I'm gonna be a little bit evil and push registration up here right now. We'll just cover registration stuff since we're talking about it anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you really appreciate being told
Yes.
something ahead of class.
Smash it. Smash it.
I have data on here. There. Oh, and hi everyone. You are not ignored. We care about you still. Okay. We'd care about you more if you came. So Reg, I guess I'm doing that. Sorry if your name got called and it's a fuck up on my part. It's up on my part.
All ages.
Sorry. All ages. All right, so we have 381 people registered. Of that number, we have 68 super sponsors, and then we have 31 regular sponsors. We have 1 minor sponsor, and then 9 minors. So it's kind of fun all over the board. Currently on my list for Reg is working with Pseudo. We're going to get the old Reg system up and humming, make a couple improvements, and then improve our pipeline to the internet, and it will be slick, I hope. Anyway, as you know, Dee announced the naughty list, or the list of people that should register soon. What is this? Oh, shit.
It needs to be up there for my.
It reset. I think it reset.
It's still recording.
Good. Language. So one more thing. I have the badge artwork. I'm currently looking at doing the format. It's not gonna be like mind-blowingly different than all the other years. But we have 2 pieces of artwork, 1 for minors, 1 for everyone else, and then we will color code all the types. So it should be fine. Don't get worried or whatever. Worried? Are you worried? Sorry. That should be it. I am assuming, I haven't talked to anyone, but we're doing the staff badges again, separate. They're going to be the same art. Why are you nodding and angrily?
Simplified.
It's simplified. It'll be good. No worries. And that's it. I have Reg. I'm going to go directly into fiscal.
Oh,
Okay.
There's a couple things that are coming up here. When is our closing date?
August 15th. The prices will go to at the door prices, which are more. I know it comes as a surprise, but at the door costs more to sign up. If Pseudo and I can get the system running nicely and playing well, then we will probably leave it open for people to reg up till the con date. What?
I was just gonna add on. Finish your thought.
Okay, sorry. So people will be able to register up to the con, but it will be at the door rate. So especially for staff, if you want your staff badge, if you want to pay the nice price instead of the at the door price, then you can register sooner.
Yes, and on that note, August 15th is also when the hotel room left.
Closes?
Great, yes. So that's a special day for all of us.
Excitement, August 15th.
Yep.
Yeah.
The thing is, con staff, we want it to be before that date.
Yes, please, so I'm not tearing out my hair.
Yeah, because
I have a
we
lot,
are
but-
still going to be providing the content at a different place, in a different way, not at registration. So we do need these done beforehand, just because.
And,
Hey,
yes.
I want to upgrade to super sponsor. How do I do that?
Okay, so with your registration, hopefully you register, huh?
I don't remember the email.
Hopefully you registered using a real email address. Some people didn't. You can log in using your used old email, following the instructions on the original email sent to you. If you lost that, I can help you find it. But there is a way to follow that, change your membership to whatever level you want. It won't let you go backwards. I'm taking bribes. Yes. Anyway. No.
But I expect less.
Is that how much you're willing to pay the bribe, or is that the number you want?
No, I expected. I didn't have a quarter on me.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No change.
One of the things that is important to know, if you want the sponsor and super sponsor benefits, some of those benefits we can do for 1 billion people. Some of those benefits, we are only going to do X amount. We have to plan this out. So we use the numbers of today to figure out potentially how many more super sponsors and sponsors we'll get, and we order merchandise from that. So if you're the type of person that is sponsoring and you do want, and super sponsoring, and you want the rest that comes with that, you kind of have to tell us and get it in before the con. We don't promise at the con that you'll be able to upgrade to super sponsor and sponsor. There'll be more about super sponsor and sponsor stuff later, probably just like about a word or two. But yay.
I'm going to escape now.
Now you can skip. You're not skipping. I think skipping would be more fun.
I won't skip with this computer. I want to break it somehow.
Okay. I'm going to go back instead. I'm going to jump back to fiscal.
Oh, yeah, don't use that.
Purchasing reimbursement. You want me to talk about it, or? Oh, sorry. It says fiscal here. Treasurer. Let's fix that.
Sure. Be short.
Sorry. Fine. It's now fixed there.
All right. Everybody's favorite word, reimbursements. You like money for the things you buy for the con, yes? So, land reimbursement.
How do you fill it out? I've never filled one out.
A pen. You probably all have one. Wish I did.
Oh, I've got cool things.
It's not an ink pen. A reimbursement form that's been filled. Done correctly, you get a check.
Woo! I don't have any pens. I have little tiny pencils, really little tiny pencils.
I mean, the case in point is I've not had to do that a lot so far, but to most of the people in the room. If you know someone who typically gets a reimbursement that's not here, please talk to them. It's the people who are not here that I'm more concerned over. For the treasurer on Thursday, Flip has asked my services that day to help with consuite and load-in and general stuff like that. So Thursday morning, I will be helping him, and I should probably be there about a late lunch. I should be on site. All reimbursements, maybe a special circumstance, if you talk to me, are going at the post-mortem after the convention. I don't expect there to be a problem, but now you've been told. Is there any questions?
For post-mortem, because I'm about to drop $1,000 out of pocket for merch.
You have to get it reimbursed by September 29th.
Yes.
There you go. Just
Yep.
reverse that, right?
Sorry, that probably was my bad.
No, I used to.
Yep. In other news, we do still have the white pre-con shirts back in the corner. We are out of large and 1XL, and no, unfortunately, we're not going to do another run. What we have is what we got. You have today, you have the oval in the other Concom right before the convention to grab one, because then they go to the merch table and all bets are off. There's still $20. That's not changing. And yeah, that's me.
Yep. It's great when one of the things I was expecting to ask him if we're going to be doing here, he already covered. So thank you. Logistics? I really look at the camera and think about that it's a PlayStation camera. Reminds me of it.
Hey, that's my web camera.
Go ahead. Mostly what I've got to talk about is the schedule, because as everyone knows, the times we get the rooms are a little bit strange, which kind of affects when I can get stuff in. So we're looking to start the move at 8 p.m. on Thursday morning. We expect to be at the Hyatt sometime around noon. If you have a room on the second floor, we would like to see you so you can get your stuff into your room. If you're on the fourth floor, obviously you have to wait till Friday. Friday between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. we would like to see you to get the stuff to your room. And unfortunately, I injured myself a couple of times last year moving stuff beyond my ability. So ceremonies, rooms should begin to break down. If not during closing ceremonies, then immediately after, we will be starting to get stuff staged for the move out. Fourth floor, your stuff will be going to the operations room, and second floor, your stuff will be going to the registration room. And then on Monday, we will be doing the move out. That starts around 9 a.m. if you're able to help. And we should be done sometime around 3 p.m. to get the truck back. And did I miss anything there?
8 a.m. That was the only thing.
You said 8 p.m. on Thursday.
Which was a very,
No, that you did say 8 in the email.
I did.
Yeah.
You said 8.
I just said the number 8.
You can have credit.
I was thinking of time travel. I was hoping with you to actually have the time paradox.
So does everybody understand how that is going forward? We are asking for help, and that different groups meet up at different times depending on what floor you're on. So if you're available, if you're on second floor, please try to show up around noon Thursday. If you're on fourth floor, please show up around morning Friday so that we can get stuff from the second floor storage to your rooms. I have possession of rooms on fourth floor until Friday morning. And that's why we're pressed for time, so everybody's help is going to be really useful. Any questions? Go ahead.
All right, well, I believe that's all I have then.
Sounds good. Just remember, be kind to logistics. They're working with this hotel schedule as best as they can. And we're going to be, next year it's going to be a little bit easier. We'll hopefully get the rooms a little bit earlier. But that's how it is this year. We'll work with it, and we're going to roll with it. Mako?
What would you like me to cover? Everything or just one thing?
Just do theme update for now.
All right.
Let's keep it simple, and then we'll do everything else afterwards.
Hi! The theme this year is Midway Menagerie. If you don't know that by now, what convention have you been working on? I give you that, man. If you don't know, the few things I do want to talk about real quick are, we are putting up posters on. We are still accepting artwork for posters. That is up on the website. We're accepting that through Friday. After that point, we have to get them turned around so we can send them off to printers. Okay, these are large posters. Okay, because we want to make things look nice. We will have 4 theme booths around the con space. These are set up to be like carnival booths, state fair booths with activities for people to do. If you have ideas that you might want to host something like fortune telling or a game or something like that, please get with me. I will work with you. We have a few options already. And the idea is just to give our attendees a chance to have a good time, give them a little bit of an extra boost on theme, and just generally have fun. We will have tickets to give out at those booths and other places, and people will be able to pick up prizes. We should have that at the volunteers desk, because volunteers will be earning tickets as well, and so that gives them a way to pick what they'd like to earn as their reward. And basically, again, we want people to be happy, we want people to have a good time. If you have any ideas for theme, please feel free to submit them. At this point, we're kind of running down to the wire on this year's theme. I don't like the laughter in the corner.
Nope, you shouldn't.
because people coming from our tabletop gaming room.
We need a freak show featuring people in three-piece business suits, uniforms, people who are furries.
You get right on that, sir. For those that could not hear, we have at a furry con, instead of our normal freak show, it would be in verse.
Yep.
You know, the non-furries. Yeah. I don't think we need to do that. But if you really want to arrange some fun like that on your own, I am not going to say anything. Just don't tell me about it.
We can't call it the norm show?
So,
but
are there any questions about theme-related activities at the con right now? Otherwise, please feel free to reach out to me on Slack or via email. Do you have anything else you want me to come on?
Just overemphasizing that we want our community participation on the theme, especially the posters is a great idea if you know artists and everything else. If you know artists that need to shove money, and you're willing to give them money, that's still fine. We'll accept any legal submissions. So. But at this point, I mean, as con ourselves, we're accepting donated art for this. We would really want the community to step up and do a couple extra ones outside of what probably is planned. sorry about the little pause. We already, I'm gonna go a little bit on the hotel closing time. That is what it should be. It may close a little bit earlier. That would be unexpected, but it has happened. So hotel and bridge closing time are around usually the same time.
Which is?
The 15th. If everything goes right, I was closing the 16th, but we may be closing earlier out of our control, and that will be the word scam passkey will be always used in those words. So that passkey happens, which I'm sorry, that's a language thing. So, but let's talk a little bit about ceremonies.
Okay. You want to say something?
Oh,
something useful?
Something useful. Come to the wonderful world of the.
Okay, so
recorded.
We're gonna have opening and closing ceremonies. You probably want more detail than that. First thing, Milan. What time is opening?
4:30 on Friday.
4:30 on Friday. That does not mean you can't open your department before that. In fact, please do open your program whenever you're ready. So that's the timeline information you need to get us.
As far as open red 4:30 on Friday. Right?
Go, yeah, you go right ahead.
You will die.
And hold on. At that point, you need a red head and a new con chair, because one's going in an ambulance and the other in a cop car. I'm not sure. Okay. Long story short, if you have something you need or want addressed at opening or closing, let me know. You don't have to do the presentation yourself if you're shy, and we do have shy people here. If you want to, talk to me and we can set that up. The idea is to have something that is fun, lighthearted, professional enough, and enough fun that our people will enjoy themselves. So if you've got ideas or something you need, come talk to me. I'm in the process of reaching out to some of you who need to talk to me, because there are things our public's going to want to know. Think especially about how you can tie our theme into whatever you're saying. That's an area where I can be of use to you. Go ahead and let either Arby or I know, and we will make you look brilliant. Any questions now? I'm running away.
You did good.
I'm a random staff member, and I have an idea at the last minute. How long till the last minute?
Because it costs money. Kellogg for president, but nothing else. You're fine. That is up to the idea, actually. Depending on the idea, some things we can pull off at the last minute. Some things I will throw you off the top floor of the hotel. So if you've got an idea, I'd love to hear it. It may go into the bin for another year, but we'll see. And I'll be able to say more once I know what our theme is for next year, because I have no idea what we're doing for closing.
Yeah. So, one thing to note, I'll let you get back there and you can yell at me if I'm saying wrong. One of the goals about this is fun, but also fast. We don't want our people to be sitting there hearing a wall of people for an hour and a half. You're not going to have a closing ceremonies that is 2 hours. We are going to keep it down to as fast as we can. Yeah, the words 30 minutes usually comes out of people's mouths and everything else, but we're going to do whatever the amount of time it is that makes sense. But we're going to try to avoid the hour and a half. You're sitting there and going, God, my meter on my car. If I wait 30 minutes, it's going to cost another $10. So we want to avoid people feeling like they're trapped in a room just there because what else is there to do? We want to make sure people are having fun. And I gotta emphasize that, yes, our opening ceremony is at 4:30. Yes, our closing ceremony is at 4:30. But we're doing stuff after closing ceremonies for our attendees. We're doing stuff before opening ceremonies. We're doing it on both ends. And
we're still doing that?
I have nothing to do with it.
But really, I mean, if the whole thing about this is we have people, and we've talked about it indirectly, we have people from out of country coming early here. We are here to provide a fun atmosphere. We want to provide them a reason why to be at the hotel on Thursday. A lot of our attendees, hotel can back me up on this. About at least half our hotel rooms are on Thursday for Thursday, Thursday night compared to Friday.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot more on the show.
Yeah, and in the long term, I would love Sunday to also have that much people still being here because they're having a great time. It's the whole thing is that we know that there's people here on Thursday. We are in a tight situation with how our load in and everything else is, but we're doing, everybody in this room has stepped up to the plate and seems to be doing their best to make this work for the space we have. So, we talked about rich closing, registration updates, hotel. Our two things that we, web a little bit, website update. Please send any changes to website at furrymigration.org. Just so you know, we're going to be updating a lot of information on the website based on what you submit to the con book and the pocket guide. I know this is random. The con book and the pocket guide are the highest priority even than the website. The reason why this is because con book and the pocket guide need to get out. So we need to focus our attention on getting the information right there. Once the information's right there and everybody's happy with it, that's where we're going to pull it from the website. Because otherwise we're going to be sitting there trying to do two different things. Even though our community asks for the stuff on the website, we got to concentrate on the con book and the pocket guide to get it into a great shape. So once those are in shape, you'll see the web to get a little bit more active on a couple of things there. But I wanted people to be concentrating on the con book right now. But if you have updates or have things you want on the website, feel free to give it to either webmaster@furrymigration.org, and it will get up there. And social media, please at any time, if you have something you want to announce, send it to social media at furrymigration.org, and they will make sure they'll get it up there.
Newsletter.
And newsletter. We will be sending out at least 2 more newsletters to the general public before the con. 3 or 4, I guess. The thing is with the newsletters, it's a way to tell our community about what's coming on, what are some of the major events, so that they know. Because one of the big things that happens with any con, and we get a lot of feedback, is, well, I didn't know that was happening. Or I would have came there X date if I knew that this was happening on that day. And the whole idea here is we want to become more than an afternoon con for some people on Saturday, because even the bigger cons, Saturday afternoon is the big where everything happens. We want to be known to content on Friday and Sunday that people want to go to. And one of the ways for that to happen is people to know that we have stuff going on. As soon as we get, as I said, when we get the con book and all that stuff all set up in the pocket guide, that's where you're going to start seeing the push on the web and also on newsletters, social media, to get those dates out and get that information out so that people can plan their schedule in advance. Mind you, at the same time, it doesn't mean if something happens that we're locked in at that time. We have opening ceremonies, we have the web, we have social media to tell people that things are changing. And so don't worry if you say, oh my God, photography needs to close at 7, not 9. We can still make sure people know about that. It's not the end of the world. Okay, it's our favorite time for the division heads. Because division heads have no time to be up here and everything else, and they want to talk about the wonders of some of the things happening in their departments and everything else. Which division head would like to go up there first?
Sure.
That's fine.
You didn't bring a knife?
It's not that theme. There's 10 other cons doing that theme next year, so I don't want to even infringe on it. And there was cards.
Gambling?
So you could say.
No, we are not having cards. That is gambling.
Double cards. I got tiny pencils.
So if they're doing that, I don't take it on a roll.
Lowest card goes up first.
All right.
Now that I'm gonna take my reg hat off and go towards fiscal, which are in different departments, so. She's my boss too, it's great. Now she's not because I have my fiscal hat on, haha. So now we are looking at art show. Currently, I don't know if you all heard, but all the grid walls were sold by the people that we used to borrow them from. And so we had to buy our own, 18 of them. If we need more than 18 for art show, talk to me, please. I will ask in an email too. Then we get to Artist Alley. I need to chat with Flying Fire a little bit, not because of your friendly face, but because we need to talk about some stuff. But I assume. Oh, ouch. I'll also talk to Hunter, great guy. I would like to set up maybe a poster. Then we can talk to Wacko and be like, oh, here's a poster. It'll be great. And then we get to Dealer's Den. Good news, we have an assistant, maybe. Treble offered to help as a dealer's assistant, or at like every safe word, every con ever. So like he has lots of experience with dealers and their needs and how to help people and that sort of thing. So he'll help out, but I mean, we're still only at 2 people running this giant Dealer's Den, so we're gonna need another assistant at least. Charity, looking good. On money holding during after hours are gonna take place. That was a sticky point before. I would also like to look up posters for charity. You can think about it. Now, GPS. Not the best information panel going on there, but I'll reach out and see if they need any more additional guidance, resource, education, or whatnot, but I'm just going to assume it's awesome, right? Later. That GPS, what do you need from Furry migration information-wise and et cetera?
We're talking.
For migration, the setup and everything.
Yes, I reshared the conflict information. You got it? Okay.
We could talk during breakout too. I'll walk over there. We could talk during the breakout too. I can walk over, say hi. I don't know. I'll talk to logistics maybe. Okay. Hours. Currently, all you fiscal division folk, you're opening and closing at the same time as everything else, so that hotel can just kind of do a lockdown down the hallways, and then the whole area is covered. I see Moaco's feverishly running through all the pages to make sure all the departments are opening and closing at the same time. Are they? Oh, I see a no. I'm going to talk with him after. Okay, check in at the con. Please come see me as soon as you get to FM. If you're in my department. Otherwise, you can come say hi and give me a hug. I don't know. I'll probably need it. I'll be tearing my hair off. It'll be great. Anything else? Anything else? Just come find me.
You're not tearing your hair out. You're just shedding for your winter coat.
Yes. 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 You already know the answer to that one.
If this was a magic show, I would be throwing a shirt in the audience and
for a cannon, right?
Well, then I would have them throw it at the person that they really wanted to talk to. So in Chicago, who would you want to throw the podium at?
Podium? Why would I? Who do you want to throw it at? Oh, next. Let's go with Wongo.
Are you sure you don't want to do the card draw?
Why do you have trouble playing cards?
Don't ask, just.
I don't either.
We're not doing charity poker.
Oh, charity poker.
No charity
blackjack
person
poker either.
Charity blackjack on the other hand is okay?
How about person?
And especially not charity fursuit stripping poker.
I still have the light button on for 32.
5 seconds ago.
Only after.
Hey, did you say charity fursuit poker is popping off?
Hi! I'm gonna go down some stuff real quick to start, and then I've got some reports and see if we've got anybody check in. Hey, for our sponsors program, we have our super sponsor breakfast on Saturday of the con. It's pretty nifty. I liked it. You get bacon, sausage, you know, that sort of stuff. Sponsors this year? No.
No, not
This is the breakfast, not the brunch. Sorry. We're hoping to move back to the brunch later. If you need vegan bacon, I don't know you. That's not a knock on it. It's that it's cursed saying that. Sponsors are getting a nice little lapel pin. It's actually a little nifty design. We have some of our normal gifts that they get, like the patch and the sticker. We're still working on a super sponsor gift, but we have an idea. I'm waiting on a sample for it. We have guests of honor, and our guests of honor are pretty much set to come. Please be very welcoming to our guests. They come from foreign places like Germany and Alabama.
I only speak German.
Yeah, I know. Keep in mind, I speak fluent Alabamian. My mom's from Alabama. But yeah, no, please be very welcoming to our guests of honor. We also have some special guests. I know we were kind of mentioned by programming. Please be welcoming to all our guests because when they spread word of mouth back to other people, other artists, other people in the community, the better they speak of us, the more fun we can have, and the more people who will come to our con, and the better guests we can get later. We finished taking in suggestions for guests of honor for next year. However, since you're staff members here, if you do happen to have a last minute thought for potential guests of honor for future years, just pass them on this weekend, and we'll throw them in the hat. Maybe we'll just randomly select them. I don't know. Signage. Someone mentioned some posters they'd like done. If you want anything on signage, posters, etc., physical signage, there are 3 options this year. First one, if they need to be over 11 by 17, those must be to me what you need, and preferably if you actually can give me, a physical some sort of document online, a PDF. If you already got something drawn up, you can pass that to me. It has to be to me by the 15th of this month. Otherwise, I cannot get them printed in time. Okay, anything at 11 by 17 that we can just send to FedEx office or whatever print shop, we can do that the week before the con. Okay, I will be doing a print run prior to the con. So if you want to batch them in with mine, I've got to have basically what you need, what you want, how many copies, that sort of thing. However, you can also you'll also be able to make up your own room signs, signage, small signs for your department rooms and so forth. I will have Google Docs files on the FM share drive on Monday with instructions on how to use them. They have a header and footer on them. They come in 8.5 by 11 in portrait and landscape, and 11 by 17 in portrait size. These allow you to simply edit them, to add whatever content you want, and then they can be printed either by you, so you have them in hand with you when you get to the con, or you can send them to me and I can put them as part of a batch printing. Okay? However, there will be instructions with them that you need to look at, review, and follow. And one of those is going to be, make sure someone else looks at them for review. I make typos all the time. I really do not want to see, welcome to the Midway meringue. That would be fun. But, however, I do not think that we have pies in Consuite of that sort.
But what about Furry migration?
Yeah, so basically just make sure.
Note to self, Patrick.
Yeah. All right. Rico sent along a couple messages. Videography. If you have any pre-con video stuff you need done, the deadline is the 15th of this month. You'll notice the 15th is a very popular deadline. I think everyone should add that to their calendar right now. Because if you aren't dead by then, if you are interested in having your panel filmed during the con or event, that needs to go via programming, okay? Not via Rico with videography. The reason is we need to know specifically what panels are being filmed. We need to make sure the equipment is there. Rico's not our only person setting that up. He's helping that out, but his focus right now is getting pre-con video done, and then we can move forward to the at-con panel and videography. Digital signage. If you have not seen the digital signs from last year or at the oval meets that they've been at or the picnic, okay, it's a very nifty setup. We had it at the last Concom. It allows us to show a lot of content, can rotate through stuff. If you have any questions, okay, or if you have something specific you need to see on them, let Rico know. Also, if you wanted a display, the digital signage display in your department's room, that is something that you would have to set up through logistics and assets because he cannot provide the equipment for that for all the rooms. So, all right, moving on. Kellett, did you want to talk about merch at all or just mention that we are proceeding forward with getting some stuff ordered?
Yeah, right now, different things. Carabiners that are basically co-branded between event versus commemoration. We talked about that before.
Kellett, I'll go over it real quick if you don't mind. We're ordering some. We're going to be ordering some carabiners. We're expecting those to be co-branded with MN Furs as well, so that we have something that shows that we're all one big team. We're going to do another order of dog tags in a different color because those were very popular last year. And we're looking at a little water bottle because people quite like them. And those will be something that we have kind of at the table to sell probably for a few years until we run out. Anything else?
Biggest thing is actually that can be addressed so not good.
All right. Photography, you guys have any updates you want to give? Everything going okay?
Backdrop is ordered.
Our backdrop for photography photo shoot is ordered and we're looking pretty good. And if you're interested in photo shoot and kind of what to talk to them at Breakout, both Yarg and Mooring.
I guess one other thing to mention too is Mooring brought it up to me. We are going to have like a check-in system for props. So if people want to bring additional props that are outside, our stuff, and want to do for the weekend, we'll have a little sheet where they can sign it.
And I will, if you have props that would be cool at photo shoot, they'll have a check-in, check-out system, a lot like they do with video game equipment and stuff. Also, if you have any really cool stuff you think would look good around the con for decorations for theming, we can kind of do the same sort of thing. We can check that in, check that out. So it's all good. Con book. Guess what? Actually, we're pretty good. I got preview copies printed out. I'm going to pass around stuff to various departments for you to look over. There's edits that need to be done. We're waiting on ads from a few cons. Adjustments will happen between now and when it goes to print. If you kind of want to take a quick look, I've just got basic printouts in black and white, just so people can kind of look through what we have. Just make sure, though, today, if you're here and you think you have anything in the con book, swing by and talk to me and Blue so we can go over what you have in the con book. If you don't think you have anything in the con book, swing by anyway, because I probably need to talk to you about something. Pocket guide. We'll be talking about the pocket guide this week. Hours of operation. If you have hours of operations for your department, and your department is not internal to another area, such as merch being in dealers, okay? Obviously, but if you're like the dealer's room, I believe I have your correct hours. Stuff like that, but please check it with us because that's also got to go to website, that's got to get on signage, that's got to go everywhere. So please make sure you've checked in with us. And I'm sure Vulan is just excited to get us the programming schedule. Do you guys have any further questions on anything, themes, sponsors, signage, etc.? All right.
Before we go to the next division head, I just want special thanks to both Lou and Mako for the con book. For the work on it and everything else, it looks amazing. I'm really happy because this is their first year doing it, and they stepped up to the plate and doing the same quality or better than what we've done before. So I'm very happy at what we're seeing. So I appreciate the extra work, and I know this has been not the easiest thing to pick up and everything else, but it's showing just amazing that you're doing it. Because of that, Mako, who is the next person you would like to bring up? And they don't have to be a victim, they can be a friend.
Oh yeah, no, assets.
Yeah.
I could see through the person between us, the look on his face.
Words to live by. The social media theme of the day, tweet others as you wish to be tweeted. On the sign in front of the Methodist Church. Anyhow, assets. Logistics has gone through most of what I have. Honestly, one of the things that has been happening, and so please help me on this, Assets been having to do a lot of point. Zach has been doing an amazing job. Pretty much, if there's anything about equipment, materials, and all that, he's pretty much learned it all this year. I've interceded here and there, but we're really at the point that send it to logistics. If you feel like it, CC me, but for the most part, he can handle it. So I know I've been here and there dealing with personal things, but again, he's learned most of it. So everything about logistics has already been covered today. ConSuite, I actually have a co-head. Actually, I know a lot of people have met him. Andrew Cameron, anybody know him?
Yes. Oh, from ConSuite.
Now, here's the thing, for people who went to ConSuite last year, Rick, from Rick and Morty, does anybody remember him? That was Rick. I met with him several times now. Awesome guy. The fact is he works at Benihana. He knows his stuff and he's willing to realize that there's a lot of on-ramping, but he's gonna come on as co-head. So D, I'll be getting with you, trying to make all that transition as quickly as possible. But it means that in many ways, if you have stuff for ConSuite you wanna ask, he'll be here next meeting, introduce yourself. And pretty much if you see him and not me, feel free to approach him on any issue. He should know it because I've been dumping a lot on him in the last couple of days. And he's a bright kid, he actually knows this. All right, speaking of ConSuite, when's our first activity? Does anybody know? Yes, because you're there and working it, not you.
Yes, because I was at the meeting where you discussed it.
Yes, not fair either.
Is it August 15th?
Could probably not. But along with Mulan thing, it is before opening ceremonies. In fact, it's way before opening Thursday, correct. Remember, we have an ice cream social. So if anybody's like, hey, what do I get for pre-regging? Well, one, it's usually easier to pick up your badge on Thursday. But two, we will be again doing the ice cream social. It is my hope that we might actually have guest of honor there, if at all possible. Maybe. But the whole chance is it's a chance for us. We work the con, all that. We're already going to have a busy day. The whole idea of the ice cream social to begin with was, hey, we get to meet all the pre-con folks, but also a chance to just say, hey, take a break, relax. Sometimes they do the staff photo afterwards. I don't know what their schedule is theirs this year. But we start with ice cream social. ConSuite, however, because I do not have a lot of staff this year, does not open till opening ceremonies. However, I understand that a lot of staff will be working hard. We will be open for staff between 2 and 4 p.m. on Friday. So even though if you look quickly in the book and it doesn't show that it's open because the pocket program won't show this and we're doing really truncated hours, for staff, if you are hungry, midday Friday, I'll be training my staff on how to make stuff and all that. Food will be available for you.
We're open till, go ahead.
What's the time of day of the ice cream social, the 6 p.m.?
7 p.m. to 9 p.m. because I believe you have early, you're doing the pre-reg open just like a tad before that so they can grab it and then go upstairs. Which just reminds me, if you could remind people, hey, there's an ice cream social one.
Maybe you have a sign.
Sweet.
Sounds like a sign. Love it. I know who to talk to. The general rule of Con Suite, if anybody asks you, Con Suite will be open till midnight. However, hot food stops at 9 p.m. There's a system they did last year. It actually seemed to work out really well and allowed us time to do dishes and get out of there at a reasonable time. So we're going to keep that program going forward. The next day, Saturday morning, is the same thing. Because we have limited staff, plus we're trying to do something new this year, we have a staff breakfast for all you who don't necessarily do the super sponsor thing. We still appreciate you. You're wonderful. We're also doing a teen breakfast at that time. Therefore, 18 and under and their guardians are also allowed at this time. So we're doing a staff breakfast, but don't be surprised if we also have a lot of our younger participants there, and we're going to actually actively encourage them to, hey, meet the staff. So unless you really want to be somewhere hidden, we'll find a place to hide you. But you know what? Some of these kids are really interested. What makes a con run? Be open to that. We'll be opening from 11 to midnight Saturday. Same idea, hot food, yada, yada, yada. 10 a.m. on Sunday. No staff breakfast, no nothing at that point. I know we're all tired. We're tired. Sorry, limited hours. But the nice thing is that we're pretty much cooking off everything we have left. No matter what it is for anybody and everybody. The whole idea is we just don't want leftovers. We will be having after closing ceremonies a dead dog party. It's there, remind people, why do we have a dead dog party? 2 reasons. One, we're one of the last rooms to leave. We take a while to clean up. People have some place to be. At the same time, we're not taking home any food. Pretty much starting at dead dog, if you see it, you say, hey, I'm taking off, can I take this thing of Little Debbie snack cakes? We'll probably say yes. So that's the dead dog part, yeah.
Sounds like a sign, free.
I'll actually still tell people to ask, but let's just say my tendency or the staff's tendency to allow other staff first will probably be higher than just attendees, mainly because the focus this year is to help our staff. Staffing is light. We're already working with you with the little stickers this year. We're even going to have a sign that basically says, oh, that's what I want to talk about. I'm sorry. When you come up to the line, there'll be 2 options of food. Usually your rice and other stuff that you're used to at cons. Just like we ran the experiment last time. Sorry, just like the last time, we will have things like corn dog, chilies, things with meat, protein, veggies. I'm gonna have a table at the end that's going to say staff only. And the primary reason is I realize you guys can't get off site. So I want to provide stuff that will keep you going throughout the weekend. Yes, I know some people's like, oh, why does staff get that? Because they're working their butts off. That's gonna be my answer. And that, hey, if they want to volunteer, I know somebody who can set them up because he's got the stickers, or they have the stickers, the department. So those are our hours. Hopefully you all get to meet Andrew next week. Anything that is a specific request for that staff, let us know. Send it to Con Suite. The fact is, because we have a staff focus, if you have something in particular you would really like us to have, within reason and budget, I will make an attempt. No promises. But that will help direct what I try to aim for. And then the last bit, room parties is all set up. Still working with hotel anchoring all that, but we have 6 room parties this year. Pretty much a group of people that we've known and seen before, but you know, our wonderful people at Fermented will be back, so thank you again. And I know the radio room party, a couple of the local cons, GPS will all be there. So faces again, back on the 4th aisle. So if anybody says, hey, where are the room parties? It's in the back. It's in that back hallway, 4th floor. All right. And who do we have left?
Administration.
Oh, yeah, good luck. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I get to pick on Mulan. Let's pick on Mulan.
We love Mulan. And I was expecting Mulan to be last.
Oh, was he supposed to be last?
No.
Okay.
It's random order. I don't care.
Or were you not ready?
No.
Okay, I thought you.
Are you fine now?
No.
All say he's fine.
We are all fine here.
Fine. Fine.
How are you?
Work's been fun. Okay, so general program update. I already talked a little bit about our schedule, timeline, all that kind of stuff.
Like I said, the DJ schedule went live to the DJs this morning. I'm already starting to get some response from them. We're going to confirm on all of them and get all the logistics set up from that. I do actually have a DJ's lead this year, and they will be on site, and we'll see. We'll hopefully be very happy about that. I may actually have 2 leads on site this year, so that is helpful. Let's see. We have music events. We actually have 3 music events for main stage, which we'll see will not like before, but that's fine. We'll talk scheduling and everything later. Fox and Pepper are one of our special guests. They're doing 2 events. Those are going to be Saturday, late afternoon and into the evening. And then Sunday, Aaron is doing a music performance concert, possibly also with Fox. We'll see how that goes. Just kind of a quick, I just pulled our latest panel schedule. Thursday right now for our schedule is kind of empty. I hope to do some things Thursday night, but it depends on availability. It's also a programming space issue because we don't get anything on 4th floor until Friday. Friday is starting to get filled out a little bit. We're going to broaden that schedule a little bit more. We're really not using one of our rooms yet, but we also kind of have a weird thing this year of having 4 rooms technically with the youth space and 2nd floor. If that hadn't been communicated, 2nd floor where operations was last year is going to be a room basically dedicated to our youth programming because it'll be during the day, during the daytime hours. So Saturday, that room's getting a lot of use and a little bit on Sunday as well. And then the 3 rooms on 4th floor on the side are the normal programming rooms. We've got a little bit of abstract programming on Saturday, and then Sunday is when our dance comp's going to be. It's Sunday afternoon just before closing ceremonies, as we currently have it scheduled. Again, all this is subject to change, so all that's good. Gaming, I don't think we have really any. You don't have any major updates for gaming or anything we'll talk about later. We haven't had any changes on the division side.
I think I got the end of Waco and websites.
So we're all.
I haven't seen an update on the web yet.
Well, I was just talking about that.
Oh.
Okay. So gaming's getting moved through social media. The one thing that is kind of an issue, and I may need if people have fursuiting, Hallie, our fursuiting lead, is moving and will probably not be able to make it this year. So a little bit last minute, we're working with it. I've got some people that have already kind of pinged and said, hey, you're helping, and I have some other people that might be able to. If you have somebody in mind or if you would like to help out as well, let me know. I may need a little bit more help on that this year, especially because now we have 2 fursuit lounges because there'll be one on 2nd floor and on 4th floor. So that's kind of the big thing on my radar for programming right now. Getting the timeline set up, starting to get that pushed out. But as far as the panel schedule goes, everything is going pretty well. Anything that I'm missing?
I think there's stuff to talk later.
There's other stuff.
There's a lot of stuff, dance comp. I hate to say the words.
Yep. Nope, it's a thing. Prelims are going to be Saturday morning with the competition Sunday just before closing. So we're getting that all worked out. I've got a more than likely candidate for the MC. We're working on lining up judges. Any other comments? Yes. Hopefully sometime before Wednesday. No? Good. Can I leave? Go back to quarantine in the back corner? Oh, no.
Well,
I can go in the corner.
You can go back to the corner. Go back to the corner. Last.
Yeah, everybody said everything I was going to say pretty much. So basically, it's newsletter, social media, and website. If you've got anything exciting after you've sent anything you needed to Conbook and program guide, or pocket guide, sorry. If you have anything to help us drum up excitement to get people to register and come, out, let newsletter know, let website know, and social media. If you have any questions or problems, send them an email. By now, I would hope we had most of it figured out, but apparently not the drive system. Ops, if you haven't done your radio training, get it done soon, get it done early. Reg, 15th, we talked about a lot about the 15th, so get that in or you'll pay more money. Maybe you want to give us more money. We won't complain, right?
I still volunteer to give more money.
It just makes it easier for everyone else.
Yeah,
if you get it done beforehand.
Staff admin, check your lists, and that's all I've got because it's not about my division much anymore. So, anybody else have anything? All right, I'm done.
Okay. Before we do a couple other things, I'm going to say a couple little things that are not on the schedule. During the con, if you need me or Pacific staff for something, like a program or event or anything else, make sure I know about it or the staff knows about it, that they're supposed to get involved with it. Not just bring it on at the con, but way before an email that said this is happening. Don't let me buy a room at a certain time. That's probably something you want to tell me too, but that's probably less likely. As we get closer to the con, please check your email daily, if not more often. If you don't know how to get multiple email accounts on your phone or multiple email account or some other way to do it, I'm here to help. I can show you how to do this. But really check your email every day if at all possible. I know even for myself, sometimes you want a break day. If you are, that's fine. Just make sure the next day you come back and reply to things. We love email. We live with email. Email is our life. It's part of what we do with this con. Coming from this, email photo and our meeting at the con, we usually, for those people that don't, we usually do a last check, pretty much a pre-flight on Thursday meeting where we go through and say, hey, is everything going well? Yeah. And then we take our staff photo. That hasn't been scheduled yet. Once we know a little bit of a couple of these things, we're closing and what's happening at the con for dates, time scheduled, and tell everybody about it. That will usually happen Thursday. Is there any departments that there's information has been brought up that they would like to bring up? There is one I can see because I'm staring right at those two that really has been brought up here. Just a reminder, charity. Our charity is from the same as last year. Legacy? Leech. I don't like saying leech because I think things that go. And that just kind of gets me like this. I have it right sitting in front of me. There's going to be a silent auction there. If you have items you want to give to charity, contact charity beforehand. It really helps us to know about these things before. If you do it during, we'll still accept stuff at the con, but it's easier to do the paperwork and get everything ready there. Anybody else, any departments that want to be highlighted or anything they want to bring up that hasn't been brought up? Before we go around the room to say, hey, who needs to talk to who? Okay, we're going to go around the room to say, hey, who needs to talk to who?
All right. I will need to see hotel. I need to double check with Twisted.
I need to talk to hotel. I need to talk to Sim. I need to talk to Reg, and also Charles. I need to talk to hotel. I need to talk to Sim. I need to talk to Reg, and also need to talk to Charles.
I need to talk to Milwaukee. I need to talk to Charles. I need to talk to Milan and Milwaukee together. I need to talk to Milan and Flip together. I need to talk to Milan and I need to talk to Lego.
Are you sure you need to talk to Milan?
Yes.
If you're in my department or division and you're a department head and you'd like to talk to me, that's a good sign because I'd like to talk to you.
In addition to that, if you have questions about being on the naughty list when you don't think you should have been, you can talk to me too.
I paid up, I'm sorry.
He's no longer on the naughty list.
One thing I'm going to say, when we break up, please go right to the division heads and just check in with them right away before you go off and see anybody else, because they probably do want to talk with you, and we just want to make sure that everybody talks as a team.
Yes, and so yes, I'd like to see my divisional departments. I'd like to see me and Gus together, Hotel and Grumble together, Ulan and Chris together, and Ops as a team. We quit.
Charles?
I'm going him and Belong and Dave and Ops and someone I haven't thought of.
That's good.
Hotel. Got a lot of the other people earlier. Make sure you two talk. That's about it. Grumble. Me? Grumble, you actually.
Oh, okay.
It's not unrealistic.
All right, so we already mentioned the administration head. I wanted to check in with Mark on a couple things. I wanted to talk to myself, but I'll wait.
I always reserve time to talk to myself.
I got to talk to Valon on the Fursuit Lounge.
I'll talk to Carrie and get caught up for the fitness.
Marco? Everyone.
Yes, I would like to quickly have anyone in the VIP division to swing by first, because I don't think we've ever actually done a full division meeting. But after that, pretty much, if you're here and could swing by at least to check in, because if it ain't related to Convoke, then it's probably related to something else.
We want to talk to China? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I figured pretty much.
Hi, all right, so I want to talk to Kaiko, I want to talk to volunteers, I want to talk to possibly social working. I'm bad at names, there are other people I want to talk to. I'm sorry, I had too much.
I need to speak to Moaco and staff admin and whoever Eric needs to see.
We're just gonna sit here like everyone that wants to talk to us, come up and talk to us. Yeah.
Hotel office.
Hotel office.
Yeah, we need to talk to her.
Yeah. You need to put a little. Yeah.
I need to talk to Fido, Wako, your team with digital signage, hotel, Twisted, and photography as we need beauty shots and commercials we have.
Our department head, potentially ops, and the advocates up.
And I also.
Yeah.
And,
Lego? Go next.
Everybody that talked to me who wants to use one of these, find one of these devices at the room now.
They talk to you.
Only if it's a working right now. Okay. Please refer to one DS5. We'll do everything somewhere else because. Yeah, so somewhere else.
Echo.
Yeah. Other than that, you talk to chairman, and registration. That's in time.
Yeah.
I need to talk to, individually, I need to talk to Consuite. As group, let's see, as operations, just radio training and registration.
Everyone needs to talk with the little laptop over here. Everyone needs to talk, check this list out, make sure that your truck name, as you wanted the truck book is correct, and the years of service is correct. And all the department and division heads, co-heads, sub-heads, please check your department one more time to make sure that that your people are listed on here.
So I need to check with Oak Meadow, treasurer, and
I need to check whether my superintendent has it.
Well, obviously after checking with the list there, and Waco, and I think Charles, I did not hear anyone, my apologies, did anyone else need to speak to tabletop gaming? Okay, thank you.
Everyone else need to talk to Elizabeth? I need to talk to Flynn regarding an ATC email. I want to update with Sim for the trademarking stuff. The compilation fiscal department, so I'll just take you with a title. And yeah, like I said, they need to talk to me.
I think that's good. We have a lot of people talking. I also need to talk with, we've talked a little bit about this, but I need to talk with Gulan, I need to talk with Gulan, I need to talk with Gulan and Mako at the same time. But hey, let's get back, let's try to do this in 30 minutes, otherwise, you know what to do. It's just a special design. That's possible. Welcome to the part of the meeting where you all tune out because there's nothing going on for several minutes because everybody's meeting everyone else.
Yes, I am the only person. So I'm focusing on it. With all of these courses, assuming nothing horrific happens. Even though I've done
I was hoping to get the description of
But registrations, I'm not asking registration to take $10,000 to do their release. Not people in the back. No, I was just
What sort of website are you posting?
the only thing I know, I haven't so it's just a matter of the data being how do I less than word than
I like to.
Anything I big enough to put that in the pocket and walk off, I'm not stopping.
We think you want to go with that. Just wondering if you want to be able to read the notes on that. And we was having
Does anybody else need radio training?
I need to find out if I need a radio.
I'll do radio.
There's something major just happened. Or if this is your details or I'm guessing that you're like, I'm in that gray area well, we have a quote from them, but that's right. I wanted to double check to see if our insurance I don't know, actually. You never know.
Never meet you here. You might get it for rock.
Next weekend,
Correctly, we did stop at the office on the but they have that one too. That's we would be, there's one very close to the hotel. I'll need to see it on the map to get exactly where Friday would be easy, so I can now Friday off. Wednesday I work in, so now we can get that ready.
yeah, my other days I'm
Yeah.
like, 6 o'clock, that's never gonna work. Yeah, we can probably make that happen. Homeowners Association card. Did I get that to you? Must be at our house. I can send you information just in case you're curious, because I was thinking about just having my resource when I want to put it out in front. Yeah, if I ever get some land. I reblogged, you probably saw I reblogged that fermented part. Yeah. And I saw that you were trying to convince one of our Belgian Andy, yeah, I saw that. It's just like, that's an expensive trip just to come over. I'd be happy to have you come over. If they want candy, if they want to try candy, I already looked it up. There's the commentary is you probably be better off doing a sort of a sour beer, and make sure it's less sweet. Right. Yeah. No, this is fermenting the problem is a large chunk of Skittles is corn syrup. Corn syrup is the anti thing. A lot of people are not happy with fermented corn syrup because it just has a really bad taste. It doesn't. Well, the heavy stuff like some of the brown sugars. If you have too much brown sugar, that's the molasses. You have to waste a lot of time letting that stuff in chocolate because it gets really powdery. Of all these things. I try to get rid of most of my receipts. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, I think. It's easy just building up. I gotta get first. See you later, Marie. Alright, watch my stuff. Well, I checked this here so I could show Chris this. Free for immigration. Oh, what's this?
For some reason, I realized after I
Hi. Do you need muchas absolutas? Oh, maybe muchas
Eventually, I figured it out. I found that yeah, the problem is So you need a 10-foot round, is that it? Yeah.
I went and saw them in Vegas for a minute. Oh yeah.
Well, especially this whole thing. This is
I like the dance.
What you can always do like ceremonies. I just was watching that. Did I give you the idea? Where'd you get that idea from? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, that's concrete better. Shall I try it again? What? Would you like the little boys to try? I will say this on our back.
Everybody get to your seats.
Please! Well, you didn't listen to the first one.
I'm trying to get everybody pissed off at me so I don't become a conservative for life. The treasurer has told me that we can't give you all ponies. You cannot all have ponies.
I don't want to. So pony up. No one wants.
So, this is always a favorite part, is the end times here. We're getting to the point where we're all talking about executing our plans, executing what we're doing, and we're literally a month and about a half week before the convention. We got a lot of stuff to do. But we've done it before, we've done this 4 other times. This is just our 5th time, and we do it better every time. So, I hope everybody had good notes and figured out exactly what they need to do. We're gonna go through the room, our standard thing of what are things that people need to know about that you're gonna be doing before the next meeting.
All right, before the next meeting, we will be working to finalize our contract for the truck rental. I am potentially looking to get a second look at the hotel because my video didn't record very well last time. And honestly, I think that's about it for things I'm doing immediately.
Posting about open positions on staff, emailing Charles, doing a reminder post for registration, and also doing posting on the schedule that we have.
I'm going to be getting a lot of newsletters out to our attendees, so any stuff for that. I'm going to try and get emails out to staff as well, just before the 15th to remind everyone this is your last day to get stuff in for deadlines. Youth stuff is rolling along good, and other than that, just keep messaging people on things.
There's a lot of moving pieces, but I think they're all currently moving in good directions.
I kind of have to second that myself. The one thing I'll point out, if you're doing radios and you've done your radio training, if you're looking for your own headsets or headpieces, your plugin that you're looking for is Kenwood K1, correct, Lego?
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Basically, I'm trying to figure out what room schedule we're going to have for the first lounge between the 2 different lounges.
So I'll be continuing to reach out to volunteers, be getting the spreadsheet all finalized, making sure everyone's department's needs are assessed, and in the meantime, I'll also be sure to eat, sleep, and be free.
Writing furiously fiendish things.
No change.
Continuing to put together a con suite, I had a recommendation in the staff stuff for soft pretzels, yes, no? Say aye.
Does it come with the Mickey cheese sauce?
Yes, because that's one of the reasons to do it, because we will already have cheese sauce, that's why it kind of works. So, this is how the process works. If it's cheap, I can probably do it.
And if you show up at Concom.
Okay.
No, you're.
Okay, so a couple of things with figuring out rooming for our guest of honor who's going to show up early, working with ConSuite to figure out sort of the pantry area and how that whole process is going to work throughout the weekend and access. Working a bit with VIP, going over. Otherwise, a lot of it at this point is just changing reservations around so that people can be on the 3rd and 4th floor. And a couple of people, such as Shadow and Unico, that don't want to hear any noise, can be as far away as possible. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of it's just submitting things and getting ready for our meeting with Jillian on the 17th.
Everything's in motion, there's not really much for me to add.
Hi, posters! We're going to be doing posters. If you think you need a poster, please contact me. You may not need a poster. But I will have signed stuff up on the team drive on Monday. And there's a lot of stuff going on. And if you have any questions about the Concom or Pocket Guide content, please message me. I know some people are, a lot of stuff, send a message, email, VIP, and for migration, or catch me on Slack. Either one gets to me reasonably quickly.
Just waiting on some documents from Kyle and Hurst. And making big sheets and taking photos of options.
Spending money.
I would be good.
Yeah.
Deep. He was already working on meeting stuff.
Let's see, get the final list of names and stuff over for the Concom, including the 5-year list. If people haven't gotten yet to me, new people that are adding, moving, whatever, please get that to me. Next Concom is going to be probably the printing party, either right before or during. So we really want to make sure that your badges stay stacked before we get print.
Radio training will happen again next time meeting. Radio training will happen next time, and we're also gonna have it on the fly at convention. I think that's it.
A lot of emails, people I got to email, people are going to email me. That's going to be until next time on. I guess the only thing to add, because the morning said is, also asked if we can see some pictures of work and merchandise for this year, and then we want to and I guess we're long rooms.
Oh, if you get pictures of the merch, let me know so I can put it in the newsletter.
Oh, okay, sure.
So again, if you have any problems or any questions and things are not moving, talk to your division head. If they're not responding or you're not satisfied, I can be involved. If you just need to talk with me, I'm available anytime for anybody here, for anything. Mind you, if you're going to be talking about tiddlywinks, I'm not going to know very much about tiddlywinks, and that probably is not a good use of your time. But at the same time, if there is something you need to talk about, and that is concern about the convention, please feel free to contact me. Also, if there's anything about the Minnesota Furs, and you don't feel that you want to talk to a board member like Dee or anybody else, I'm still available for that to talk to. All I gotta say is I'm sure no one's gonna be leaving here when I say leave, but when this is over. But I mean, be awesome, get out of here, and continue to do great work.
If you're headed out and your table's empty, I would appreciate just a little bit of help if you could just stack the chairs or collapse the tables. Thank you.
Yep.